Are you trying to buy a house in southern Middle Tennessee, but you have a house to sell before you can buy your next house? Word on the street is that the market is a little bit tough right now for sellers, that we're in a little bit more of a buyer's market in most areas, which kind of makes buying a home when you have to sell a house a little bit challenging. So here are some ways that you can purchase your next home, be excited about the future, and still have a little bit of peace of mind as you are navigating the process of doing two things that you don't typically do often at one single time. Number one, you have to know your numbers. More than ever, you have to talk to a lender. You have to understand exactly what your bottom line is, what your ideal number is. You need to know the entire spread because you might have to drop the price of your house in order for you to be able to get into the next one. And if you are especially tight in those margins, needing the exact right amount of equity to be able to move into the next house, then you need to know exactly how much money you can come off. Or if you're just going to have to wait around a little bit longer for that one buyer to come and pay the little bit of a higher price. You need to have really clear and realistic expectations on the front end too. You need to listen to your real estate agent, have them explain to you what days on market looks like right now, what pricing ratios look like, which means what the houses in your area are selling for versus what they are listed for. Because in most areas, it's just a scotch under the list price. If you price competitively, then ideally you have somebody come in quickly and give you a full price offer. If you don't, and you have to sit for a little bit longer, then you need to really lean into your real estate agent and make sure that you're making adjustments when possible. I like to tell people that, I could spend $10,000 on all of the marketing in the world. I love marketing. I love messaging. I want to try and sell your house with social media, with great MLS listings. However, if it's overpriced, there is not a single thing that I can do about it. So make sure that you're priced right, that you know your numbers, and that you know where you've got a little bit of wiggle room on those numbers. What happens first? You have to decide what needs to happen first. There's some people who have the ability to buy their next home without selling the home before, and it's a little uncomfortable for a little while, possibly paying two mortgages. However, it could be the easiest way for you to be able to have a seller say yes to you without having some sort of weird contingency like a first right of refusal. That's a video for another day. But if you are putting an offer in on a house and you have a sale of home contingency, then there is a possibility that somebody might come in and take that dream house that you were hoping for away. So you need to make sure that you know your numbers, you know what happens first. Do you have to sell your house first? Do you need to have some temporary housing for a little while? When I bring that up, there are some people who are like, absolutely not. I will not be living with my parents again. I did that for 18 years and it's not happening again. But then whenever push comes to shove and they really start thinking through the process, they're like, you know what? I could probably stand 15 to 30 days so that we can make sure that this move is really smooth and, pain-free. Next, you need to build the timeline before emotions set into place. At the very beginning of the process is the best time to think through facts, numbers, timelines before you start getting tired. When fatigue kicks in, you start feeling the crunch. Every little thing you start evaluating. Is this the right choice? Is the picture the right picture for the front? Is the price the right price? Has it been posted online enough times? We've lost the perfect house. Another one is never coming back again. We need to go back to the drawing board and start completely from scratch. Very rarely is it a good idea to go back to the drawing board and start from scratch. Create the timeline at the beginning, get really clear on where you're supposed to be. And when you feel like emotions are starting to take over, then take a look back at that timeline and say, I am right here. And in my mind, I'm pretending like I'm right here. And if I just scooch myself back to exactly where I am, I probably won't be as stressed out. So if you're looking to move to southern Middle Tennessee and you have a sale of home contingency, you have to sell your house, whether you're out of state, in state, I can help you work through that timeline. If you have an agent that you're working with in another state while you are trying to move this direction, I am super easy to work with. I can talk to them and we can make sure that everybody's on the same page so that your move is as smooth as possible.